When I think about it now, it was inevitable that I'd become a music producer. But my path isn't the typical path. My story starts in my family's living room. Whenever we'd get together and have family parties, I would always take over the music. I remember I always liked to have the bass low, and when the song dropped, I would bring the bass up. And you know, with reggae music, it's all about the bass. Weekends, I would spend at my aunt's house where all my cousins would stay. My aunt had this amazing collection of music, which she used to blast through her Jamo speakers. And whenever she had a house party, the whole block would know about it. Block parties that's still spoken about today. Eventually, I got my own Jamos. I used to do exactly the same, play my music. Crazy loud, disturbing the neighbors. My friends used to come over, we used to just play jungle music, rap, all the bass heavy music you can think of, smoking weed, chilling, passing time, as you do when you're young. Back then, becoming a producer did not cross my mind at all, because I always thought people who make music, they're from another world, have got this crazy, elusive gift that normal people like myself didn't have. Similar to how I used to look at people with wealth, people with money, it's something way out of my reach. But at the time, my focus was on football. I was all right. I was a decent little player. I had a few scouts, a bit of interest from a few scouts. Nothing never came of it because without sounding like I'm making excuses, I didn't have the right guidance. I was making the wrong decisions, plus I was smoking weed. So I definitely wasn't living the life of someone who wanted to become a professional footballer. So my life then took a different turn. Football didn't work out. And this led me into the construction industry where I worked as a builder. My job title was a dry liner, which meant I could build houses and suspended ceilings, partition walls and that type of thing, which was good. I loved it, absolutely loved it. And lucky enough for me, I got that job through the support of my stepdad, which gave me a bit of stability in life. So I'd done that for 7 years as a self-employed contractor, taught me about craftsmanship, taught me about business, taught me about people skills and working in groups, working on my own. But what I love about it is going into a building that's completely bare, getting the plans and then watching it as it grew. Similar to making beats, starting from scratch, having an idea, creating foundations, layering, and then seeing the progression. Plus, the money was good. So as I got older, my music taste broadened, eclectic, I'd say. I listened to classical, rap, hip hop, drum and bass, jungle. I loved it all. Just, if it was good, it was good. So at these times I had, as I said, I had a lot of friends coming around. And one friend said to me, do you know about Music Generator 2, which is on the PlayStation? At the time, it was PlayStation 2. I was like, no. And I had a little interest in music and I was interested in how it worked and how it was made. And at the time I was listening to Daniel Bedingfield, who I learned made a song in his bedroom. So when I was told about Music Generator 2 on a PlayStation 2, put the 2 and 2 together and thought, maybe I can do this as well. So I got Music Generator 2. And if you know anything about Music Generator 2, it's just not gonna cut it. It's not something you can use and make music that would be release ready. But it did give me the starting block of understanding how to put sounds together and create a beat. So I played the beats to my family, my friends, and feedback was good, positive feedback. But I realized now, they're just saying it to be nice, which I'm super grateful for, because that gave me the confidence to keep going. Otherwise, maybe I would have just stopped. But I had a little something. So my inspiration for wanting to make beats was Timbaland, one of my favorite producers, even today. Just his sound, his style, definitely gave me the inspiration to want to make my own music. So as I said, Music Generator is just putting piecing sounds together, putting blocks of sound together to create a beat. One of my brothers, I have 6 brothers in total, 4 that I didn't get to meet till later on in life, which is something that I'll talk about later in this story. One of my brothers told me, or said to me, that you need to start making chords. What are chords? I have no idea what chords are. So what was I gonna do? Find out, learn about them. The type of person that I am, once you tell me something, I'm interested, it piques my interest, I wanna go and do my research. But I didn't know where to start. Then the building work dried up. Money that I'd been making from building, that was also drying up. I ended up moving to a different city for the love of a good woman, which is now my wife, and enrolled in a course, basic music production course at Confetti Studios, which led me on to a full degree in music production, which I've done at Leeds College of Music. When you're learning in these colleges and institutes, you're working with big desks. So the idea in my head was, I want to work in a big studio. That's my dream now. Work in a big studio, work in a big desk. I never thought from 1 second that I could be my own boss. I can be my own home studio, working for myself, for other clients, making music, without having to leave the comfort of my home studio. Never occurred to me. So while I'm learning music production, I got a job as a sales assistant at House of Fraser. This is where I'd spend 14 years of my life before I get my breakthrough. Although it was only part-time, it felt like full-time. And I was rotated in to do it every Sunday. So unless I booked it off as a holiday or it's Christmas, I would be there every Sunday. I remember getting up on a Sunday, having to leave the family to go to work. Saturday nights, if we was out going to a club or whatever, just wasn't the same because in the back of my mind, I was thinking work tomorrow. Then one day, while playing five-a-side football, I broke my right knee. This meant I'd be out for at least 6 months, giving me plenty of time to think about my next move. By chance, a friend told me about selling beats online. The type of person I am, I need to go and do some research because it sounded interesting to me. So went online, done some research, looked on YouTube. There was a few videos from a few producers at the time talking about selling beats. And this was perfect for me because I created a little buzz from the beats that I was making, working with a few local artists. And yeah, it was going good. I was going in the right direction. This was around the time I started my YouTube channel as well. So with this knowledge that I can sell beats online, I created a little website, very basic website. I remember I put 11 beats on there. Got my domain name, which is KC Sounds. At the time I wanted KC Beats, but someone else had already took KC Beats, so KC Sounds it was. And then I made my website go live, sat back, waiting for the clients and the artists to come and find my beats. Crickets, tumbleweed. No one was gonna find me. I didn't have a clue how to run this business. I didn't know what I needed to do. I didn't know about marketing. I didn't know about branding. I didn't know about advertising. I didn't know about SEO. There's so much to learn. So unfortunately, the beats business didn't take off in the way that I wanted it to. So I'm stuck at House of Fraser, still working there, still creating my beats. Plus, I love making beats. I love mixing and mastering. I love learning about it. So not getting paid wasn't a problem at the time. They said, if you want to find your purpose in life, your dream job, then ask yourself, what is it you would do every day for free without getting paid? And for me, that was a music producer. I dread going to House of Fraser. I used to walk to work praying to God. I used to pray to God every day for a way out of House of Fraser. I had mantras that I learned from Bob Proctor. Money comes to me easily every day from multiple sources on a continuous basis. And that wasn't the only one. I had I think it was 10 or 12 minute long mantras that I memorized. I would say all the way to work down this road. House of Fraser was going for a rough patch and almost folded as a company. I thought, yeah, this is my way out. Nope. Last minute, someone came in, bought the company and jobs was safe. And I was happy for those who had been working there for years and this was the only thing that they knew. And for those that needed a job and wanted to stay there and was worried about becoming jobless. But for me, I was sad. I really did think that was my way out. I thought, yes, this is it. So time has passed and the business was grand. I went from selling beats from £9.99 to about £25 and £40 for WAV files. My mixes went from £25 a mix to around £95 a mix. My YouTube channel was doing well, was getting the views, the subscribers. Yeah, generally it was looking good, but it still wasn't enough to go full time. So I'm still praying to God, asking for a way out, still saying my mantras on the way to work. I believed I had more to offer than working as a sales assistant. I'm not trying to downplay being a sales assistant. I just knew that it wasn't for me. I was tired of customers looking down on me, thinking that they're better than me because I'm serving them. I was tired of some managers giving me shit because they feel that they're better than me because they have a title. But that's not all managers, because I had some amazing managers. One in particular who I will always forever be grateful to, because she was the one who gave me the job to start with. And for that, I'll be forever grateful. Then COVID came. I genuinely thought that was it for me. My business was going to crash. Who's going to want to buy beats? Who's going to be doing mix and mastering? Because how are you going to get to a studio? I feel like my thinking was kind of narrowed, but COVID had such a positive impact on my business. And yeah, it's sad that other businesses wasn't as fortunate. But for me, my business grew. I was earning probably 3-4 times the amount that House of Fraser was paying me. I could have left them, but I didn't. I was too scared. I was still asking God for signs. I was still in the and ahhing phase where I could have just gone then. But no, I stayed. Still went back to House of Fraser and still praying, still asking God for signs. And that's probably one of the biggest signs. Then I had another accident. This time I broke my left knee playing football, which meant I was going to be out for a little while again. In the back of my mind, I was thinking, yeah, cool, that's lovely because I can spend some more time on my business. At this time, House of Fraser was going through some changes and the word redundancy came up. And I kid you not, while I was in recovery, I got a call saying that I'd been made redundant. And there was my sign. That was it. I had no choice now but to go full time as a music producer and as a YouTuber. I had no option. I was being forced now to go full time. And that was God telling me, this is your sign. You don't need no more signs. So I had a little redundancy money that I was going to use to fall back on, if anything. And the money that I was earning from my business was enough for me to continue the business. So earlier I mentioned it was inevitable that I become a music producer. And that's because later in life, I got to meet my long lost family, where I learned that I'm coming from a very talented and musical family. My brothers had a record label, sound system, producing music. So it made sense. That's where my musical talent came from. That's why I had so much passion for making music. And that's why it felt not easy, but the love of it was just there. And music is in my blood. So I'm here now almost 20 years from making my first beat on PlayStation Music Generator 2. 20 years is a long time. Some people would have quit ages ago. A lot of people, they make it quicker than that. That's good for them and I'm happy for them, but that's not my story. You can achieve anything that you want in life just as long as you don't give up. But the trick is knowing when to give up, because if it's not your calling, if it's not for you, then maybe you should be putting your energies into other things. But whatever it is that truly lights you up inside and that you're 100% passionate about, then go for it, no matter how long it takes. Let me be proof. Let me serve as inspiration of sticking it out. I hope that it happens quicker for you. If it doesn't, then it doesn't matter because that's your story. So I've told you my story to serve as inspiration. It can take you 20 years. It can take you 2 years. Either way, you've got a story to tell.